Welcome to the GSM Podcast.
Yeah,
Week two.
It sure is.
This is exciting. We got a lot of feedback, so we got to give the people what they want. They want us to do another podcast.
They want us.
Yeah.
The people want us.
Yeah. So we decided to do another one.
Nobody asked for me, but I'm here anyways.
No. Kind of just an added bonus.
If you can call it that.
Yes. So we're going to be going over some very random things today. Some pretty serious things. Some exciting things. We're only a couple weeks away from Christmas.
Which is crazy.
Yes.
Which means 2021 is right around the corner.
Yeah. All 67 months of 2020 have just flown by.
Almost. Yep. They
It's
have.
a little bit more than that, I think.
Yeah, it feels like it, at least.
Yeah.
But, so the exciting thing about this podcast is we have some giveaways.
Yeah.
Well, giveaway.
Yeah. This week we have a giveaway.
It's a pretty big giveaway.
Last week we had giveaways, and I think they were loved. I think the people that got them, they were pretty excited about them.
Yes.
Hopefully they didn't look at the expiration date.
Yeah, we did find out after the recording that it was actually expired April of this year. So we're really sorry. But this one is not expired. I can promise this one is not expired.
Mm-mm.
But you have to watch to the very end to be entered to win. And then you have to know how to enter to make sure that you are not
So you got to watch the whole thing.
Right.
Or skip to the end.
Or skip to the end. But this
We'll
is
watch
live.
the whole thing.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that soda kept, I didn't even know that could expire.
Right. That's why you're here.
It's so
Yeah.
old.
We're educating you on this.
Glad
Right.
you're doing the trivia at the end. That's good.
Right.
That's all I'm here for.
Anyways,
Yeah.
today we wanted to at least talk a little bit about part 2 of the series. What series are we going through right now?
Yeah, so we started a series, a short one called Merry Christmas to Me. And so we're talking about this idea of how can we make Christmas this year not about us. So this whole idea of being selfless, you talk about it every Christmas. Like how can we give and not receive, all this kind of stuff. But this year we really want to talk about how we can make sure that Christmas this year is about others and not ourselves. So we've been kind of diving in. We talked last week about comfort a little bit. This week we're going to hit on a couple topics as well. But this whole idea of how can we make Christmas about others, about true meaning, all this kind of stuff. And so we're going to kind of dive into a couple of topics regarding that. So
Awesome. Did you watch last week, Connor?
I missed the first 20 minutes.
There's 20
But
minutes.
the good news is
But the last 20 were great.
We're great.
we're going to try and make this one
A little bit shorter.
the only 20.
Only 20.
Only 20.
We should call that the Only 20
The only
podcast.
20 podcasts.
I like that. So can you kind of dive in and kind of tell us where we're going with this? So what was the title of it again?
Merry Christmas to Me.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like you talked about, it actually isn't about us.
Right.
And here at Grable, one of our core values, one of our 5 core values is not about me.
Mhm.
And so I kind of wanted to pull on that string a little bit, but kind of tell us where we're going. I know you had a few questions for us, but so kind of tell us where we're going a little bit.
I think one thing that I want to kind of just throw out there first is this whole idea of I love wordplay, and so when wordplay works really well, it makes you look really smart and intelligent too. So I want to kind of throw something out here at you. So what if this Christmas it was less about our presence under the tree, and it was more about His presence. See, it makes you think. It makes you feel really smart. But again, the thought of that though, what if it was less about what we receive, the gifts, all the things, the presents, but it was more about Jesus in our life?
Yeah.
How can we add Jesus and His presence to each aspect of Christmas this year and make it more about His presence rather than our presence?
So what does that look like?
That's a great question. And I want to make sure that we touch on that. But what would it look like to incorporate Jesus in everything we do? So when it comes to family gatherings, right? How can we incorporate Jesus into our family gatherings? We come from a whole bunch of different kinds of families. Some believe, some do not believe. But like adding Jesus into those, in the food that we eat, like the conversation we have around the dinner table during Christmas. When it comes to giving gifts, like what does that look like for us? And I think another one. So I'm not Spanish speaking by any means, but it took a couple of years in high school, right? So this whole idea of moss, right? Do you know what moss means in Spanish?
Is that the things that grow on trees?
No, that's MOSS.
Okay.
Moss in
That's
Spanish is
English.
MAS. Do you know what that means, Connor? You were in Phoenix for a couple of years or so.
I still can't speak any Spanish. I can count to 10. It's more.
Moss means more, right? This
Good
whole idea of
job.
More. So what if
So it took
Christmas?
2 years, so
I don't
Spanish.
think necessarily Christmas, the word itself is Spanish based, but go with me for a second, right? If we went just based off of the word here, Christmas, more, Christ.
There you go.
But I had a mic that
You
was
drop
not on the
it.
stand.
Drop it.
Right. I do, but it's on stand, so I'm not going to drop the whole thing. Plus,
Take it off
H
the
would be
stand.
really mad. So yeah, again, but how can we incorporate Jesus? And I want to open that to you guys too. But how do you think we can make sure that we're incorporating Jesus and His presence, making His presence felt this Christmas, rather than focusing so much on presents or the things around the tree or the things that make us feel good?
I think the very obvious one that a lot of people would probably go to is, well, maybe we should pray before the meal, right?
Sure.
Or we should read the Christmas story around the fireplace, which those are some of the things that were traditions when I was growing up.
Yeah.
But I think also maybe something that maybe isn't as obvious of something that we just do is, I oftentimes say it this way, are we living a with God kind of life? Like, do your actions reflect that? And I would even say outside of Christmas, but this time of year too, like as we're celebrating our Savior's birth, Christ's birth, like, are you living a with God kind of life? Yeah, sure. I hope we do pray before meals, and I hope we do read the Christmas story and reflect on that. But do our actions also reflect the things that we're praying about and reading about as well? So that's what I would say.
Yeah. I don't know if I really have much to add. When I think about, how different ways to incorporate Jesus into our lives at any time, I think about some of the things that Jesus, taught about, some of the things that He valued and wanted us to value as well. And one of those things is generosity.
Mm-hmm.
So I think about, giving others gifts. So it's not focused on what we're receiving, but what we're giving. And I know that that's, taught on and advertised for and all, we hear that a ton, especially around this time of year. But that's something to keep in mind. How are we blessing others the way that we are also being blessed this year?
Yeah.
And it may not even be like the gifts that they necessarily want. I think there's a lot of people in our community that their needs aren't met. So maybe you begin just to figure out outside of yourself what needs are needed in our area and begin to go that way too.
That's a good segue. I think one thing that I wanted to kind of talk about and chat about is this whole idea of giving, right? Because there's a bunch of different ways or means behind giving, but like when we think about giving, right, we always hear giving better than receiving. Like you said, it's the tagline, right, for Christmas, all that kind of stuff. But when we talk about giving, right, sometimes even if we can be honest with ourselves, we give to make ourselves feel good, right? Like I pride myself on my gift giving sometimes. I'll be honest with Rachel or with whoever. Like I like when I get a gift that someone enjoys, right?
Yeah.
So that's not bad necessarily. But how can we, again, this whole idea of giving, how can we make sure that that's based on, not making ourselves feel good, but out of the true, like the love and the care and the devotion we have for other people this year.
Yeah. So what's the motive behind giving the gift?
Exactly.
So like you could give it, like, oh, they're going to, you ever seen the episode of The Office where he gives the iPod and he wants everyone to like him because he's like, this is going to be the best gift ever.
But it was like a $10 gift exchange.
Right. It was. Yeah.
Exactly.
So he totally misses the point of what's going on. It wasn't specifically towards him. Oh, everyone's going to love me. So I think sometimes that's where we can be is where, oh, if I give this gift, everyone else watching is going to think I either have a lot of money or everyone's going to like whatever it is.
Yeah.
So what's the heart behind the gift giving?
Yeah, I love and I care about you enough that this is what I thought of when I thought of you and this is what I'm giving. Not that it's the most expensive or the most prestigious or whatever gift, but it's because I thought of you. And I want to do this. I want to take you back to what I think is probably, I would argue, is the first ever Christmas gift given. Okay? So I'm going to take you back to Matthew. Okay? If you have your Bibles, whatever. We're going to talk through Matthew just briefly. Okay? Matthew 2, this is the story of when the Magi come, right? Through the wise men. They come and they visit Jesus after his birth, right? So I'm just going to read from that. I'm going to explain a little bit of what I see when I think about this story, right, when the Magi come. So we're going to start in verse 9, okay? So after they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose, it went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. When they saw the star, they were overjoyed. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. So that's the first thing, right? They bowed down and they worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. So notice what happens here. The very first time, right, the gifts are given on Christmas, right? First thing that happens is they stop and they bow and they worship, right? They stop and they ready themselves and then they give gifts. Now, I don't know if you know this, but frankincense and myrrh are very expensive, right? Even, so one of the gifts that Rachel, my wife, thought of for this Christmas was essential oils, right? Shout out Essential Oils. I was on Essential Oils website and you would not believe the price for a 5 milliliter thing of frankincense and myrrh. Like people are paying hundreds of dollars for 5 milliliters, which is not much. So even back then, of course, you can imagine how great of a gift that was.
Sure.
But before they gave the gift, it says, they stopped, they bowed down, and they worshipped him. And I guess you think, like, I'm not telling you to sit down and to bow and to worship your sister before you give her a gift, right? We're not telling you to do that. Please don't do that. But again, like the thought behind it, the heart behind it, like you were talking about, the prospect of what we need to do when we give gifts, when we think about other people, when we care enough and we believe enough in someone to give a gift is, I think that's a good explanation of what needs to happen.
Sure.
When I think of gift giving.
Yeah. I think that's great. And I think oftentimes, probably most of us watching this, if you've heard the Christmas story before, you could probably recite, hey, these are the 3 gifts that were given. But I doubt very many people know that piece of the story is that they bowed down and worshiped beforehand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I necessarily even remembered that part. We always know the 3 gifts, yada, yada, the wise men, they traveled a long way and they gave the gifts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's a really, really great point.
Yeah.
So
that's just something to think about. I mean, as we give gifts, as you're giving gifts to people this Christmas, are we taking time to really, again, we care for this person? Again, we're doing it out of we care for you enough, we love you enough, we want to bless you in this way rather than, oh, look at me, I'm going to give this gift. And I think that leads me also into a thought that I had here of this Christmas. What if, what if sometimes our greatest present to those who we love, like our family, our loved ones, sometimes our greatest present is actually our presence. Mm-hmm. Like just being with, right? There's a lot of things now that are slowing down, school, there are not as many activities happening, whatever. Like, what would it look like? I want to ask this to you guys, like, what would it look like for a student in our ministry, or for someone who's listening now, to say, I'm going to give my presence as a present to my loved ones and my family this year for Christmas?
I would honestly say the biggest thing is put these bad boys away. Mm. Yep. Like if or when you get an opportunity to be with grandma or grandpa or aunts and uncles, I know like things have been really strange with, do we meet, do we not meet? Like that's not the debate. Sure. But whoever you're with this Christmas season, like, are you actually with them, or is your body just present?
Yeah.
And so that's what I would say is give them your full attention. Ask good questions. Don't just expect something back. Like maybe you spend we've got a couple weeks before Christmas. Maybe you think through some really intentional questions, some really intentional things that you can do while you put your phone away and just say, hey, Christmas Eve and Christmas, I'm not even going to pull my phone out because I know I don't need it.
Yeah.
Like I'm just with the people that I'm with.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. I know a lot of times, especially like right after eating, people will just pull their phones out. No one's talking to each other. They're in the same room, but they're not talking to each other. And asking intentional questions. So put your phones away and then ask intentional questions. Maybe you're gathering with family that you haven't seen for a long, long time. You don't know, what's going on in their lives. Maybe they're struggling through some of the same stuff that you might be going through. So ask them, how's your year been? What's been going on this last couple of weeks? How's school? They're going to school. Ask questions. Catch up with your family.
Awesome. Yeah. I just encourage the same thing. Like you're going to be, again, who knows who you're going to be around, but grandma and grandpas, you could be with younger cousins who are looking up to you and kind of wanting your attention, your time, younger sister, siblings, whatever it is. But I think that's huge. It's the intentional. I'm going to take time this Christmas. I'm going to take time while I'm gathering or I'm away from all the distractions just to sit and to be present. Mm-hmm. I think that's sometimes something we miss so big. We try and do all these things, but just be present this Christmas time. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for the good word there and the encouragement there. I do want to get to a different segment here. Are we ready for that?
I mean, let's do it.
We're never fully ready.
We're never fully ready for this, but this is the one.
Connor, he really wants to do some trivia with us.
Yeah.
They actually asked me to do this. I didn't request it.
Wow.
All right, just get to the trivia.
His word against ours.
All right, gentlemen.
What are you exactly? A Christmas tree?
Yeah.
Okay, proud of you. Okay, keep going.
Thanks, Kev. In the early 1800s, Kev, you were around then, the first gingerbread houses were reportedly inspired by what famous fairy tale?
Oh, Hansel and Gretel.
Hansel and Gretel.
Kev got it.
Oh, did I really?
Is this a competition? I didn't realize it was a competition.
1 point for Kevin.
Oh, okay. Points. All right.
I totally guessed. I had no idea.
Oh, that was a good guess.
That was a real good guess.
Yeah.
It was correct. In the song, Grandma got run over by a reindeer. Easy there, big guy.
I didn't know it was a competition now.
What incriminating evidence was found on Grandma's back?
Post print.
Dang
Ball
it.
print.
Isn't it a sleigh?
Sleigh bell.
Tire tracks?
You're not gonna get this one. It's not tire tracks.
Deer droplings?
No.
Santa's beard hair.
No.
All right, just tell us.
Yeah, I don't know.
Claws marks.
Claws marks?
Did not know that. All right,
I
still
didn't know that
1 to
either.
0.
What?
All right. What traditional Christmas decoration is actually a parasitic plant?
Mistletoe.
Yes.
Boom!
It's a tie ball game. Bro, some of these, I had to sort
1-1.
You have no idea how many questions I had to sift through. to
Where did you
some of
find these exactly?
I literally Googled Christmas trivia.
Of course you did.
There are some really disappointing questions, by the way. According to the folklore of Austria and other countries, what horned figure punishes naughty children at Christmas time?
Bigfoot.
No.
Oh, it's from The Office.
Oh!
why I picked this
Something
one.
Schnickel.
No, well, maybe it's not from The Office. It's
Oh,
not, because it's
Belschnickel.
Not, it's not Belschnickel.
Oh.
I immediately thought of The Office when I read this
I don't
question.
know. Gremlins.
But no, you just want me to tell you.
Yeah, tell us.
Yeah, tell us. Yeah.
Krampus.
Oh.
He's-
Sounds like what I was doing after I worked out this morning.
Isn't it? All right.
All right, next question.
Next question. Still 1-1.
Still
I don't know
1-1.
how many more you got, but we're still tied.
I just-
tie.
I saved a few of them, so
Okay.
hopefully this ends before I run out of questions.
Well, we'll see.
What well-known Christmas carol became the first song ever broadcast from space in 1965?
Jingle bells.
Yes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I mean, most common Christmas song, so good guess, I guess.
That's
But
correct.
Do I win?
I still have 3 more. Do you
Oh
want me to go
no,
through
it's
this?
still a ball game.
All right, 3 more. Hurry up.
Just
Hurry up.
Take your time.
Please don't tie it. What Christmas carol does the Peanuts gang sing at the end?
Oh, Silent Night.
No, at the end of a Charlie
Also,
Brown
just
Christmas.
Silent Night, not Oh Silent Night. I didn't even hear the rest of the question because I was busy making fun of Kevin.
What Christmas carol does the Peanuts gang sing at the end of a Charlie Brown Christmas?
Hmm.
If you know from home, put it in the chat.
We wish you a Merry Christmas.
Nope.
That makes sense.
I can picture it, but I literally don't know what song they're singing.
There's only so many Christmas
There
All
carols.
right,
really
just tell us.
Hark the Herald Angels sing.
Ah, I knew it was a spiritual one.
In what modern day country was Saint Nicholas born?
Austria. Switzerland.
No.
Germany.
I literally don't know. I'd be embarrassed if I even opened my mouth.
Not the North Pole. That's your hint.
South Pole.
No.
East Pole.
Just want me to tell you.
I mean, where geographically, where is it?
It's
He doesn't know.
yeah, you're right. I don't know.
Or is it tied still?
Yeah, it's
All right, give us the last
no, it's
question.
not.
Yeah, it's tied.
Brennan's
2-2.
winning, isn't it?
No.
No,
It's
2-2.
tied.
2-2. I have 2-2.
Oh.
Oh, I don't know.
2-2. Come on, discuss the
Okay,
last
okay,
question.
okay.
All right, last
Tiebreaker.
In the TV
2-1.
special How the Grinch Stole Christmas, what 3 words best describe the Grinch?
Oh no, we just watched this. It's Christmas too.
Big Bad Wolf.
All right, we're done with the segment.
Oh, I hope you guys
What are
did
the
better
3
at home
words?
than what we did.
Stink, stink,
Stop.
Oh,
come on.
Okay.
Amateur.
Well, we have 2 things that we want to talk about before we wrap this thing up. One is next Wednesday, December 16th, if you're watching this live, what is going to be happening?
We're gonna have a GSM Cocoa drive-through, hot cocoa drive-through. So what we're asking you to do is drive your car through our church,
The carport.
the carport.
Yeah, don't drive through
Don't
the
drive through the church. Drive through the carport, where we will be waiting to give you some hot chocolate. There'll be some special guests there to kind of welcome you and say hi and all that kind of thing, and then
Giveaways.
giveaways.
Lots of
Big
giveaways.
things. You want to make.
I mean,
sure
they're
you-
like if this is a small giveaway, like the
like last week we gave away expired pop,
a small
right? Expired
giveaway.
soda. These are much bigger than that.
So this week
Which
will be a
doesn't say
better
much,
giveaway than last week,
but we're just
and
working
then
our
on
way
the
up.
16th it will be much bigger.
We're working our way up.
Yeah.
That's how we do it here.
So,
Yeah.
speaking of giveaway, so don't miss the 16th. You're not going to want to miss it.
Don't miss it.
Jump in your car, dress up, whatever you need to do. It's going to be great.
Yeah, if you're
Wear your
middle
Santa
school-
hat like Brennan.
If you're a middle schooler, please ask your parents to drive you.
Yes,
Don't
that
try
would.
to drive
Please
yourself.
don't try to drive yourself.
Do not
That'd
drive
probably be
yourself.
illegal.
That's a good call.
All right,
Definitely
so
illegal. Not
unless they failed middle school several times, I hope that's not true.
Sure.
All right, so what is the giveaway for this week?
It's not a GoPro, but it's very similar. It is a Maganon action camera. It's waterproof. What's the funny? It's 4K.
I feel like I'm on this Price is Right now.
And it could be yours for 3 payments of $19.99. Just kidding. It's free if you win. And how do you win this giveaway this week?
Right, so the way you win this is that you're going to sing a Christmas carol, record yourself doing it, and tag Grable Student Ministry in it, either on Facebook or Instagram. It has to be public because everyone needs to see your beautiful faces singing it. It's going to be great. And then on Thursday morning at 10 o'clock, we are going to judge which one is the best.
Yeah, it could be any Christmas carol.
Anyone.
You like best.
Just, it has to be creative. It has to be funny. So
We want to laugh. And at 10 o'clock, we will announce a winner.
are you crying?
It's very close. And we will we'll drop off the gift, this nice, not GoPro, but Maganon action camera with accessories.
To your house.
To your house. So you don't even have to pay
Better than
shipping and
Walmart
handling.
drop-off.
You don't even have to pay
yeah.
shipping and handling.
It's great.
So that'll be yours. If you sing the best Christmas carol,
You just
we
have to
won't judge
embarrass
that.
yourself a little bit and you get the camera.
I have a question for you.
What's your
What's the
question?
question?
How are they supposed to record themselves singing a Christmas carol if they have
Without the action camera.
Well, the action camera obviously would make it better, but they can just do it on their phone. So
This time, yeah.
the quality of the camera is not necessarily what will be in judgment. It's creativity, accuracy of the carol, and those kind of things. And so Brennan, Michael, Connor, and myself will be the judges, and hopefully we'll have some good entries.
And from then on, you will have a new action camera to sing all your Christmas carols in the future.
Yes.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for listening to the GSM podcast. Hopefully you had a few laughs that we could just speak about the truth together. And we hope to see you on the 16th. Love y'all. Peace.
Merry Christmas.